Hey insiders, welcome back to the Roofing Report. I hope you had fun with Patrick Carr hosting it for the past few weeks. He's my co-host on the channel, so you will see more of him. But don't worry, I still will be here and I'm working on some bigger things behind the scenes too. We'll have some juicy stories coming up, but first, if you like these videos, if you appreciate what we do, please hit that like button. We do this for free, so we need to know that it is worth it. We are only going to spend time on the stories that you want.
That was dumb.
This time of the year, there's a lot of videos about roofing lights and Christmas lights.
Stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, Star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
I had to laugh at this one because our good friends at Hook Agency posted a video about this last week.
In business, you can always diversify. If a lead-in, and I don't want to say loss leader, we're not in retail. We're talking about a service like, I'll give you an example. Every fucking roofer should be offering gutter cleaning. Because instead of paying 100, 150, 200 bucks for a lead, you could be getting paid to send a gutter cleaning division to get up and do the lead, make a margin, and now you're on the roof snapping off with a company cam or something like that and getting the information on an estimate. I'll never understand why every roofing company doesn't do gutter cleaning and doesn't do Christmas lights, especially if you're in a colder market leading up to some of that stuff, because you're just buying estimates on good jobs. So, you know, there's these age-old statistics around like, if Tim gives Dave $1, Tim's 10 times more likely to give Dave another $1 than someone who hasn't given Dave $1.
He has a point, but he's also living up to that meme. If you're in the roofing business and you live up north, I wonder how many roofers do install Christmas lights. Actually, Dave here, he's the one who owns the company. It's not a roofing company, they're a maintenance business, but they did my Christmas lights this year, and for the past couple years, they always do an amazing job. My house looks amazing, but if you are in the Christmas lights business, comment below. I'm just curious how many roofers actually do it. It's a great business, high profit margins. It makes perfect sense for roofers to do it because we're already on the edge of the roof, but I wonder how many do take advantage of that opportunity.
This guy wanted to make a Christmas decoration where it looks like Clark Griswold from the movie Christmas Vacation falling from the roof while hanging Christmas lights. And he even added Clark's voice of him yelling for help. This looks so realistic that the neighbors actually called 911 thinking it was real. One of the most creative decorations ever.
That's funny. That's some good creative work. This might win the Best Roof Decoration Award. What do you guys think?
Grinch List.
All right, now we have to get serious. We have a lot of Grinches to call out this week. You guys can vote in the comments who is the worst. Chase Hoffman from Greene County, Missouri is getting a lump of coal for Christmas and hopefully a prison sentence.
A salesman for a now-closed roofing company is accused of stealing thousands of dollars from customers. On your side's Ashley Reynolds reviewed the court documents and has the latest for us. Ashley?
Well, Springfield police believe the salesman went rogue. When Chase Hoffman worked for Triad Roofing, police say he stole more than $26,000 from two customers. Court documents read Hoffman got a customer to sign a roofing contract with who she thought was Triad. He told her to make the nearly $5,000 check out to him personally, not the company. Police say he then wrote at the bottom of the contract that the customer still owed the money to the business. Police say he cashed the check. Detectives say they spoke with people at Triad who say customers write checks to the company, not individuals. A manager says he tried to get Hoffman to go collect the money from the customer, but he instead offered excuses and even changed the woman's phone number on the account so other workers could not reach her. He is accused of using her and another customer's banking and routing information to pay for his own personal expenses, like a daycare center, credit cards, insurance, car payments, and utility payments. I reached out to Hoffman, who now works for another roofing company in town, and asked for an on-camera interview. An attorney sent me a letter on his behalf saying, in part, Hoffman maintains his innocence and is confident that a fair examination of the facts will reveal the truth.
I just found it very funny how even news companies always use some weird footage from somewhere from Europe. This is not United States products. This is not how we do roofs here. You can see even by the bricks, by the entire thing. Just funny how they use it for the B-roll. So this guy is charged with stealing more than $30,000 from elderly people. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Contractors who take advantage of elderly are the worst people in our industry. Number 2 on the Grinch list is C&C Home Improvements in Georgia. Another shady company that needs to grow a heart this year.
They're just putting roofs on people's homes, elderly people especially. That's who they're mainly targeting.
That roofing company she is referring to is the operation of C&C Home Improvement.
Look at this, 8 Google reviews with 1 star. That's a red sign for you right there.
Mary Battles and her granddaughter Alexis Peavy says their house needed a new roof. Peavy says her grandmother and mom only gave the company permission to run their credit, and they say no inspection on the house was done. However, a new roof appeared on the house.
You don't just come to someone's home while they're not home and put a roof on their home and say, here, it's going to be $26,000 for 10 years. You can't do that. That's not right.
Peavy says that's when she stepped in to read the paperwork, only to discover the company's plan was to charge them $26,000, which caused them not to sign the paperwork. She says the owner of the company has now gotten involved.
He's been making threats. He's going to put a lien on my grandmother's home because she won't sign the paperwork. But if you come and you do work on someone's home, you discuss the price and everything before you even do the work.
You know, I can see how this can be an honest mistake. If they're a small company, not very organized, maybe they forgot to go over the contract and get the sign before the job. But if you make that mistake, you have to own it. You cannot go after the customer for thousands of dollars if you didn't even tell them the price. That's why contracts exist. And this much money, it's one of the biggest purchases homeowners will make in their life. $26,000 is a lot, even for the roof. It's just heartless to hit them with a $26,000 bill out of nowhere. Number 3 is Ricardo Gallardo, the owner of R&R Construction Services in Illinois. He made the Grinch list this year and got a $275,000 fine in his stocking. OSHA investigators saw his employees working without fall protection twice in the same month last summer. And it's not the first time. R&R Construction has been cited 6 times since 2019. They already owe $163,000 in unpaid fines. This kind of story is so sad because any roofer can make a mistake and forget their harness, but it is up to leadership to make everyone accountable. When you see a company getting cited so many times but things are not changing, it tells you that the owner really does not care about their people's safety. So who is the biggest Grinch in this episode? Please comment below between the 3 stories. Put your vote in the comments.
Rules and regulations.
All right, we will end this report with some good news, but first we have one very important story for you. The New York Times published a big investigation about child roofers in the United States. I know the New York Times can be controversial, but whether you like them or not, they are one of the biggest newspapers in the country. For me, it makes it worth talking about. I don't mind a little controversy. Of course, you guys can let us know what you think too. Let's watch a video they made. It's a summary of the article.
Across the country, thousands of migrant children, some as young as 10 years old, are working in roofing. This is illegal, it's incredibly dangerous, but it's something that we're seeing more and more of, and the consequences for these kids can be really catastrophic. We spoke to more than 100 child roofers across the country over the last year and a half. These are children who are hauling bundles of new shingles that can weigh 100 pounds up ladders, and then they walk onto these very steeply pitched roofs, usually without any kind of harness or safety gear. They're working all day long, sometimes 12 hours at a time, and sometimes they're falling. Roofing is one of the 3 most dangerous jobs in this country, even for adults. So it is off limits for anybody who's younger than 18. A lot of these child roofers are coming from Central America. The US has seen almost 400,000 kids come up from Central America since 2021 by themselves without their parents. These are countries that were hit really hard by the pandemic, and children have been telling me that they came because they didn't have enough to eat, they couldn't find enough money for electricity at home, and more than anything, they couldn't afford to go to school. The most common job for those kids who are coming here is construction and roofing. One of the kids who I spent a lot of time with is Anthony Padilla. He fell 30 feet from a roof last year and was severely brain damaged. He is still, a year later, struggling to walk, struggling to talk. He'd like to go home to Honduras and be with his family, but the truth is, where they live, there's no medical care for him, and so he's sort of stranded in South Carolina.
That video was very hard to watch. As a father of 5 kids, as someone who has a teenage boy now in the house, I cannot imagine my son to go on the roof, but I also don't know what the solution is here. You know, I can understand why immigrant kids doing it, especially those who came here without parents. Comment below what you guys think. If we can help anyhow in this situation as an industry, as a roofers, if we unite somehow and maybe offer a solution, comment away. I will read it, I will meditate on it. The problem is real, it's very sad to see, and we definitely don't want any kids to die falling off of our roofs. We all know immigration is a big part of this problem. They said it in the video. You have thousands of kids crossing the border by themselves. But once they're here, the Department of Labor is supposed to be enforcing child labor laws. But almost no one is getting fined for hiring these kids. They go after 7 cases a year in the whole country. Even in some cases where kids died, no one got fines. The Department of Labor says they don't have the resources to go after all the roofers hiring minors. Do you think roofers should get fined for hiring kids? Should there be exceptions for teenagers to work on roofs? Let us know below.
Good news.
As we promised, we have some good news for you. This comes from our community. Merry Christmas and congrats to Tony Muniz. Tony has an amazing story. He came here as an illegal immigrant 12 years ago and he became a citizen in 2018. He works full-time as a firefighter and was deployed to the border twice this year to help with Operation Lone Star. On his days off, Tony runs Knowles Roofing. This is their 2nd year and they hit $1.8 million in sales. They already have 215 Google reviews, almost all 5 stars, and 2 crews year-round. On top of all of that, Tony is taking care of his 3 daughters and a wife. He says he is living the American dream and we love to see it. Merry Christmas to Tony and everybody in Knowles Roofing. We will also be sharing good news on our New Year's Eve report. If you have any wins, big or small, from this year, send them to sydney@roofinginsights.com. That's it for this week. Make sure to watch it next Sunday and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Merry Christmas, everyone.